On this week's episode of Theme Park Talk, we're at Knott's Berry Farm for a Dominion of the Dead sneak peek.
So it's opening night of a gallery presentation of all these highbrow paintings, and also with the quartet playing. And like I said, we've got vampires in here that are going to be playing cello. Not real cello, but they'll have props that look like cello, viola, and violins. Okay. Because we're also paying homage to the original Dominion of the Dead that had a very classic, kind of sexy black and white kind of theme. That's why you see the muted palette. This technically isn't monochromatic like the original Dominion. This is what you call a limited palette, and part of this, it actually also tells part of the story. These vampires are painting art that they think humans will find beautiful. And if you notice with each one of these paintings, even though they are beautiful because of the odd color palette, the grays, the muted skin tones, and then the punch of color, like with either the violins or the violas, it's kind of like a disturbing feeling. It's when you view it, you know it's beautiful, but something about the palette looks awkward, and that was all intentional. This color palette being subdued the way it is, and then the brightness and the contrast of the musical instrument is meant to give the guests, as they're going through, part of the story. Like, they don't exactly understand what humans think is beautiful. This is what they think we probably think is beautiful. And that, in a sense, gives the guests a clue that these creatures are something other than human. Over here, this was from the classic Dominion. We had what we call a scrim effect. And basically what a scrim is, it'll give you one image, and then light triggers it so you can then reveal a separate image behind it. And so this has got the beautiful violinist, and then behind it is a slightly horrific kind of tableau, but actually it's still rather tame, because we want to build that gradually to the point where they see that contrast. Remember, this is still the beautiful area. We almost want the guests to come through and say, well, this isn't scary. I mean, we've got some scares here and there, but it's more beautiful than anything else. But we're going to build that. What makes the paintings in the gallery unique is every one of those are originals that were generated for this event for Knott's Berry Farm. So those aren't, classic paintings that we've reproduced. Each one of those were, thought out, like the one where the cellist has the bone-colored instruments and his fingertips are bleeding. All those were thought out carefully. I photographed cellists and bassists, violists, to get like that reference material, so we'd have like this big collection for inspiration to create these paintings. Okay, so going back to the original Dominion, saying that this is our strongest area that plays homage to it, we had a Pepper's Ghost effect. It's a common thing in the haunted attraction industry to do the Pepper's Ghost. In a sense, you have some kind of tableau set off to the side, and you have a glass that it reflects onto, and so the guests are actually seeing the reflection on the glass, and it gives a ghosty image. This is something very highly personal to anyone who's worked Halloween Haunt. We had an amazing woman that worked here. She almost made it 20 years, a talent. She was in all of the vampire mazes except for one. Her name is Sandy Graham, or was Sandy Graham. She played our queen vampire until she passed away 2 years ago. So we all know that she would have been so supportive of this venue because she loved classic romantic vampire story. So we've got a mannequin done up like her. We all know her really well, went on vacations with her, and Halloween conventions and scary movies. So this is paying homage to that wonderful woman that we all miss dearly. Right here is when things start to change as far as telling the story, because we're slowly building up to the scare. So if you start with the beauty, and then you go through this transitional area where people really aren't supposed to be here because it's cluttered and dirty and layers upon stuff. At this point, the music changes. called the Hallway of Living Art. And this, once again, is what do vampires find beautiful? You know, not our version of art, their version of art.